passing through. So to move over this particular part, I'm going to repeat the same thing I did on the under bust, taking everything, not skipping anything, to mark my under bust. And the remaining I'm going to put from this dart leg 0.25, that is 1/4 inch, and a 1 inch and a quarter, which was remaining on the other side. I position my ruler the same way as you can see, ignoring my what I have right there. So I'm going to pretend as if I don't have any illusion on that part, and then I'm going to contour. So I position my ruler, my contour line. So I want to measure to be sure I have my line as okay. So that is correct, and I'm going to take it towards this line. And later I'll be bringing this into this, passing the yoke. Okay, so don't mind the yoke that passed through. Okay, that does not affect anything at that point. So just follow this video instruction and you get it. So this is what we are going to cut off. We are cutting it off even into the yoke. Even into the yoke. Later we'll merge them together to form the yoke, because that part is the bust formation. All right, so as it stands right now, we are done with this. Next we want to do is to start cutting off our patterns and joining the parts we want to join together, closing up our bust dart and all that. So this is my new armhole line I'm cutting right now. So I'm actually going to cut this on camera. I love to cut my patterns on camera so I don't confuse anyone. So from here, I'm now going to cut out what I have on my asymmetric line. Can you see? So I cut off the asymmetric completely. Remember, there's no bust replacement, over bust replacement, because this neckline, as you see me now, is running right into the armhole. Can you see that? So whatever you add as seam allowance takes care of that part. Okay, so I will cut through the waist line. So as you are cutting, you need to be careful you don't cut out your the basic pattern. So I'm going to cut through my bust accommodation, as you can see, and then I'll come over to this other part and cut through my bust accommodation, as you can see. All right, so I'm going to close up my bust dart. So to close up my bust dart, I'm going to cut off my waist dart into the over bust dart. I will also come over here, cut out my waist dart into the over bust. Can you see that? So doing that now, this dart is off. It will help me now to close up my bust dart. Okay, so I'll be coming in with my adhesive to close up my bust dart. Bust dart will be closed like this. So, but before bust dart is closed, let me cut off the illusion. Okay, let me separate the illusion. So I'm separating the illusion line, which you are going to sew with your mesh. You can even use another fabric to sew it. It's your choice, it's your design. So this is it. So I need you to be careful. The dart is off, so I'll completely throw it away. We don't need it. Later we'll close up our dart. Then I will come over to the other illusion to cut. So I'm cutting the way I designed it, and that is how I'm going to join it back if I'm sewing this dress. So I will take it back to that point. Can you see? So this is that illusion you are seeing right there on the thumbnail. Okay, so I will come here now to cut off the dart. Remember, the dart goes this way into this way. I will quickly follow the dart the way it is. Follow it the way it is. Can you see that? This is off. I'll throw it away. I will come over here. I will also go in through like this. As you can see, I'll just go in through like this. As you can see, cut off the over bust, cut off the over bust and under, but throw away all the that. Okay. All right, so next I'll be cutting this seam line. Okay, that is the over bust. I will close my bust. So I wish to label this so we don't get ourselves confused. So the front patterns or the front pieces we have, if I close this bust that, this is how we cut these things off. Okay, the illusion was inside here and this one was here. You can see that this one was there. So I'm going to name them the way they appear right now before I close up my bust down. So remember to note your bust points. Your bust points. I call this F1, front number 1. I call this front number 2. I call this the yoke. And I call this front number 3 and this one front number 4. All right, so I will bring in my adhesive to close up the bust down so everything is completed. But then F3 and F4, remember, this is actually very technical. If you close up the bust dart, okay, bust dart is closed at this point. I'm going to match up bust dart to bust dart, bust dart to bust dart, chest line to chest line to make sure they match up. So you can see what we have here is just a little shortage. So you can decide to fill up this shortage, okay, as we do on this channel. You can also decide to trim it off. It depends on the shape you are seeing right here, okay. So I'm going to fill it up. I'll quickly fill it up that part and use my ruler and connect it back, okay. So with that, this one is done. Next is the yoke. That is the one you are supposed to see in between. So this yoke now, I'm going to cut this yoke. You can see the dart. This is the dart. And this is another dart. So you have to be careful of your darts. I'll bring in my adhesive and I'm going to connect, close up the dart right here. Okay, you are going to close up what you have on the dart right here. Remember, there is an existing dart, though we have an illusion at that point, so it has to be closed. So I will get my adhesive and do all of that. So this one, I'm going to close up here, match up here. I'm just trying to match up to see, so there's a shortage. So let me get my adhesive so we can close.